Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Talk Podcast. Join me today on a controversial topic. So controversial. Well, first, I need to say I could care less. Okay. My heart does goes out to these people. I feel bad for them because I'm like, you guys don't see the long term risk and mental issues you're putting yourself in and all the other good stuff. But God knows I could care less, right? Especially when adults choose to do whatever with their bodies. If you would ask me, I would advise you not to do it. But at the end of the day, it's their choice. One thing that I find highly disgusting is when certain ideologies, dangerous ideologies, are pushed towards young people, vulnerable people. People have no idea. People who cannot even look into, like today, something happened. What's in a year? They can't. And let me be honest, many adults can't. Okay. So if you are a transgender person, you are very, very welcome on my episode, on my channel in general. Everyone is welcome here. Just because I don't agree with your lifestyle choices does not mean I have anything against you. I just don't want anything to do with it in my private life. But now we're seeing a topic that is somewhat public, that if we don't address this, it can grow into a highly dangerous outcome for many, many people, right? And today is not about women's bathroom. No, it's about sports. I know I'm a bit late on this. I'm not the first one to talk about this. And on my channel, it's not about being the first one to hit a viral clip or something. No, this topic is difficult. I've been taking my time for years, actually, taking my time avoiding it because it's not easy to talk about. And given that I have my own opinion about it, I might be biased, right? So it's like, I don't know, but leave that all to the side. What in the world is going on? What has happened? How are we so advanced, so intelligent, right? To make such stupid choices? What has happened amongst us human beings, right? Who are controlling this planet. We took over land, we took over sea. Some even are up there, above the skies, doing whatever they think they're doing. And yet we are not smart enough to understand that a man, a biological man, and compared to a biological woman, do not have the same traits. Physically are completely different build. Genetically, biologically, a man is stronger. Even those guys that you look at and you think, oh, 3 Tage nichts gegessen, skinny him. They have more strength than your average girl. Now, are there strong women out there? Yes, they are. But even the strongest woman is not as strong as the strongest man. Even the fastest woman, right, is gonna look stupid running next to Usain Bolt. And that has nothing to do with her skills, her effort, her talent. That is just a known fact because we are built different. And that's why it makes sense to create separate competitive sports for men and for women, even for kids. You would not see children competing. You're not going to see a 5-year-old who did his sports event, or a 10-year-old, I'm sorry, sports event in school. Yeah. Running with his peers, now running against Usain Bolt. It doesn't make sense. But unfortunately, actually, we have reached this stage where men dressed as women are competing against young children, teenage girls. I'm sure you guys heard about this guy. He was competing against women, and wasn't it a skating event? Wasn't it another one with swimming? Ooh, No. What about the one with boxing? Beat the ish out of her. There are good reasons to let women compete with each other, and they are strong, they are talented, they know what they're doing, but there's a high difference on strength. You cannot tell me it's the same feel when your girl boxes you and then a man boxes you. Stop it. I don't care how long you've been training, the power is different. And it's not me, you don't need to believe me. These are things that have been known since decades. Proven fact. But since we've invited delusion into, you know, everything actually, delusion, we have invited it into everything. That's how you're going to see clips like this that I'm about to show you, situations like this. And I'm telling you, this is dangerous. If you want to argue, well, why not? Let men and women compete with each other. Let them have fun. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, fine. There could be some sports activities where you're like, okay, it's not that deep. The only thing that's going to happen is that women are going to end up devastated because all the time that they have been training and, trying to become this person is never going to work because they're competing against a man. Well, ignore that. Just give an F to all her effort. Who cares? She's just a woman, right? Are you guys insane? Okay, leave that to the side, but let's talk about danger. If you have a woman who's smaller by height, smaller by weight, weaker in strength, and you want to do fight competitions, and you guys are telling me you don't see the danger in that? Wow. Join me.
We are categorizing what is femininity.
Suddenly, everybody wanted to be on the transgender train, and then everything had to be changed. Women's rights had to be destroyed.
We're learning over the last 20 years is that male and female categorization doesn't work.
The fact that you have somebody on this panel that is advocating for the ability to debilitate young boys, do you realize how sick that sounds?
Critics are demanding that boxer Imane Khelif is stripped of her Olympic gold medal after a leaked medical report appeared to confirm that the female boxing champion is in fact a biological male. Olympic gold medal after a leaked medical report appeared to confirm that the female boxing champion is in fact a biological male. Well, J.K. Rowling called the finding a victory for women. But elsewhere this weekend, quite the opposite. 16-year-old student athlete A.B. Hernandez, who's biologically male, tied for first place in the high jump and triple jump of the track and field championships in California. President Trump's executive order to ban transgender athletes in women's sport felt like a full stop on a long and exhausting debate. A number of major sporting bodies all over the world used the cover of Trump's move to announce their own bans. Clearly, the work is not yet finished. Here to debate the implications around both stories, biologically male, tied for first place in the high jump and triple jump of the track and field championships in California. President Trump's executive order to ban transgender athletes.
Look, I'm going to be honest. There are many, many, many things that I do not agree with Trump or America itself. Let me be real. But this one, I'm supporting it. I am actually supporting it. Yeah, Trump was like, we don't want any transgender people in the women's sports team, okay? There needs to be rules for the female sports team, right? So I decided to ban all the... oh my god, that's such a bad impression of Trump. I actually know how to do it quite well, but you get the gist.
In women's sport felt like a full stop on a long and exhausting debate. A number of major sporting bodies all over the world used the cover of Trump's move to announce their own bans. Clearly, the work is not yet finished. Here to debate the implications around both stories, trans rights advocate Dr. Helen Weberly, aka the Gender GP, Sarah Weiss, the trans pickleball player and author of Not Born This Way, and the host of Tommy Lahren is Fearless on Outkick, Tommy Lahren. Welcome to all of you. Tommy Lahren, I am clutching here the lab report, which was sensationally published in the last 48 hours, which confirmed what I and many others, you included, had concluded with her own eyes at the Paris Olympics, where Imane Khelif was looking like a man, boxing like a man, and beating up women in the ring so badly that an Italian female boxer, quit after 43 seconds and said she'd never been hit that hard.
So follow me, okay? We have a professional female boxer, right? These are people you don't play with. They know their craft. They have been training for this for years, day to day. I wouldn't want to be in that situation fighting a professional boxer, even if she's just a woman. What most people think, oh, who cares, right? No, they know what they're doing. They're gonna beat the ish out of you. So I wouldn't put myself in that position. This woman, the Italian boxer, she wasn't having a bad day or just, oh, I'm not in it today. She realized something is wrong. 45 seconds? This woman did not even do this to herself for a minute. Not even, like, she wasn't even 5 minutes in. She's like, something is off. This episode is definitely different. I'm editing, I'm adding more into it because I'm seeing what other people are seeing, right? This is not about femininity and whatnot. We understand already that there are different women. Some are very strong build, tall, giant, muscle, all that good stuff. And yet we can still differentiate if they're women, okay? Let's look at this picture for a second. What sticks out to me, okay? I'm sorry to say, this looks like Hassan. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but this looks like Hassan. I don't know why I came up with that name. This looks like some Algerian Moroccan guy. Look at, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Look at the structure of the face. She has a defined jawline as well, but you can see the difference. This has nothing to do because one has short hair or not. No, no, no. There are women who have bold, they don't have hair, they're bold, and you can still tell if it's a woman. We're not even going to go with the height difference, okay? And to be honest, I don't know how these fights actually happen. Do they put them together by skills, by experience, by height, by weight? I don't know. I think in general there always needs to be like similar weight. Like they're not going to put someone who's, let's say, 60 kilos with someone who's 95 kilos. I guess, I don't know. Please help me on that. But if that was to be the case, it's just verhältnismäßig macht es einfach keinen Sinn. It doesn't make sense. Like, the proportions, is that how you say it? Help me out. It doesn't make sense. What is she? Sorry, got distracted. It doesn't make sense. And now look at the part. Look, let's analyze the neck part. The neck area. Is it just me? Is this some shadow? Or is this an Adamsapfel? Huh? This is doch ein Adamsapfel. How do you say that? This thing here that men have. Let's take a look at a different picture. You cannot tell me you don't see it. You guys cannot, let's do this Khelif person alone. You guys cannot tell me you don't see it. Even with the makeup, it makes the whole thing more sus. You guys cannot tell me you don't see it. You guys cannot tell me you don't see it. And I know it has happened. Women have been mistaken for men when they're like into this, how do you call it? This bodybuilding stuff can happen. The reason why that happens is because You're forcing your body to do stuff that it's not meant to. And now you're starting to build up more testosterone than every other average woman. But still, even then, you can still find out that it's a woman. Even then, it's still very easy to prove that. The reason why I'm going with very easy to prove that is because this person, this Khelif person, a year or two prior, she was asked to do certain test, right? To prove her gender. And this person denied and was banned. Now, isn't that suspicious? What is so bad? If you're a woman, you're a woman. Just do the test so you can finally compete. You've been working for this all this time. Do the test, compete. There's nothing to hide because you are a woman, right? You see, there are people here on this life, on this planet, in this life, on this planet, who like to prove themselves towards weaker ones. They're not going to stand there and compete with their, someone who's on their level, strength wise. No, they're going to pick someone who's weak. And that's what's happening with this transgender nonsense in sports. Go compete with another man, right? No. Machen Sie nicht. Verrückt. Ehrlich, ich bin euch ehrlich verrückt. Alle miteinander crazy. Mind you, this is someone who's been fighting. So she definitely has a reference. If something hits you so hard that you've never experienced before, you're going to realize, something's different. You're seeing stars now. It's not a joking matter, I know. I'm trying to be serious on this. It's sometimes funny. It's funny because it's sad, dangerous, but it's funny because how is it that we're sitting here actually arguing this while it's so obvious? That's the funny part about it. That is the craziness. That's the world we're living. How did this happen? Let me tell you, when I was younger, I did not see any of this nonsense coming. You hear about stuff, they're your drag people, your gay people. There've always been trans people here and there. But what has changed over the years is insane. The things that have been planted long time ago by a tiny circle of people is now showing its fruit. And when I say planted long time ago, I'm talking 40s, I'm talking 50s, I'm talking 60s. And if you are interested in digging, you will find out that this has been happening even before that. This is not a coincidence. This is not a movement by these transgender people, the few who, this is not your tiny group of people who are actually suffering from gender dysphoria. No. This is something else. If you know, I'm not going to go there on this episode. I will do it one day. I know it's been itching in my fingers for years. It's actually the way I wanted to go when I started podcasting, because I was like, what in the world is going on? Feminism, I started with that for sure, but what in the world is going on? And even the feminist nonsense has a lot to do with this, because at the same time, while a few women are suffering this negative outcome, it was still a high number of other women, right, who want everyone to be so inclusive, obviously manipulated by what has been planted long time ago. But because we all don't think anymore and everybody wants to be included and everything needs to be love and fun and yeah, you can be whatever you want, it's the same women who welcomed this nonsense largely are going to regret this. Maybe not now, because now it's only hitting those who had nothing to do with this. It's hitting those tiny group of women who are like, we never signed up for this nonsense. But I am telling you, I am predicting already, this is going to be a big issue in future. I'm telling you, this is going to go out of hands. Right now, we're arguing bathrooms, we're arguing sports, right? Is not the biggest issue in the world. We appreciate your work, how you say, sportsmanship, but that's not the reason why the world is running. That's just a good means of distraction, if we're very honest. Not down talking sports people, but you get it. There are definitely other sectors within this topic that are much, much more important. Not downplaying this.
In her life and feared for her life. So it was bleedingly obvious there was something wrong here, particularly when we knew that Imane Khelif had been banned from the previous year's World Championships after reportedly failing a sex test. And this is the result that got leaked. Now, this is pretty unambiguous. Chromosome analysis reveals male karyotype. That's it. It looks like Imane Khelif is a biological male.
Yeah, Piers, the science doesn't lie. It's great to have that clarification, though none of us really needed it. I think it was abundantly obvious to those of us with eyes that watched any of this. We knew exactly what was happening here. But you'll recall, Piers, sports journalists, especially here in the...
So, keep in mind, we are not here to create false narrative about someone. I tried to do some digging if there's actually, a source that verifies what Piers Morgan is trying to put out there. So far, it seems like not. But at the same time, you could argue, look, are they now, after such a long time, going to suddenly admit that, yes, this is a man? You question the whole situation yourself and build your own opinion. At the same time, yet I believe this Khalifa person or Khalif person is just another unfortunate great example, right? Because even if she's not the one in that sense, we are still very much aware that these situations are happening. It could be whoever, come up with a name. But the truth is, these things are happening. Biological men dressed up as women, right? Identifying as women is enough to tap into women's spaces, into women's sports, and competing against them. That is the actual fact. And it is wrong. So take it or leave it. Digging or not, we know that this is happening.
United States, they called for people like you and me and Outkick and other outlets that were honest about this to be sued up, down, right, left, center. Oh my gosh, how dare you misgender this person? You guys are so evil. It's so awful. Well, where's the apology? Because as we suspected, the biology test came out, and guess what? 100%, we got our answer. That's a dude. And we need to be very clear about all of this. There is no place for men in women's sports. If you are a man who thinks he is a woman, that's fine. You can dress up, you can wear makeup, live your life, I don't care. Until you infringe on women and girls, then we're going to put our foot down. Finally, here in the US, we have a president that's doing something about it. And I hope California, I know we're going to get to this with A.B. Hernandez, I hope California loses all of its federal funding. Enough is enough.
Now, I completely agree. Dr. Webley, I know you do not completely agree. So let me start by just asking you this question. Why, out of interest, why do we separate the sexes in the Olympics?
It's a historical thing, isn't it? You know, that we have male and female categories.
But why do we do it?
We're learning over the last 20 years is that male and female categorization doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
Because not everybody fits into a very simple male-female category, and that's why we're having discussions like this. It's not. But everybody.
But this is the problem with the whole debate. They actually do.
It's people like this. Even if you don't agree with American system, you don't like Trump, but you must be honest. It is people like this who are danger to women, danger to children, danger to young girls. This fridge build is an issue, and this delusional something here is also an issue.
Because the vast majority of human beings fit into the category of male or female.
I have to say something.
Well, no, hang on. I'm going to come to you, Sarah, and I will. I promise you.
The vast majority, you say, and that's the vast majority, and that's.
It's only in the last 2 or 3 years that suddenly half the world went, actually, I'm transgender. Before that, everyone lived quite happily as male or female. With a few people identifying it who were leading perfectly good lives, and there was no problem. Suddenly, everybody wanted to be on the transgender train. And then everything had to be changed. Women's rights had to be destroyed. Women's rights to fairness, equality, safety had to be completely ignored and eradicated at the altar of transgender activism. And I have nothing against transgender people. I've said from day one, if you're transgender, that's absolutely fine by me. I hope you have the exact same human rights as me in every regard, to human rights, to safety, equality, all of it. But that's not what's happening. And in women's sport, unfortunately, this absurd obsession with allowing transgender athletes to compete in women's sport has seriously damaged the integrity of women's sport, the fairness, the equality, and as we saw at the Olympics, the safety. We now know that Imane Khelif was a bloke.
Well, Imane Khelif is not transgender, so I don't really know why.
Well, you don't know that, actually, do you? You don't.
Imane Khelif ist eine Frau, Imane Khelif ist ein Mann, sie darf boxen, sie darf nicht boxen, so geht es nun mittlerweile schon seit fast einem Jahr hin und her.
So this even the way they stand. She's saying that's not right. Something ain't right. Something isn't right. One last tiny comment of what I noticed, and I will be the first person to apologize if I'm wrong. Really, I have because we all make mistakes, we can all be wrong, but my eyes are seeing what my eyes are seeing, okay? Until someone comes up here and proves me wrong, I said what I said, okay? Have you guys ever seen professional football, for those in the UK, soccer players, how they stand? They have a very distinctive way of standing. And over time, you would see it's almost like their leg shapes a certain way. That's exactly what I see. That's a man standing there. That's a sports guy, a strong-built, tall man standing in front of us. That's what I see. If I'm wrong, please tell me, show me the facts, and I will be the first person.
With allowing transgender athletes to compete in women's sport has seriously damaged the integrity of women's sport, the fairness, the equality, and as we saw at the Olympics, the safety. We now
thank God he added the safety.
know that Imane Khelif was a bloke.
Well, Imane Khelif is not transgender, so I don't really know why.
Well, you don't know that, actually, do you? You don't actually know what Imane Khelif is. All we know from this leaked lab report is that Imane Khelif tested positive for male chromosomes. So last time I checked, that makes you male.
Well, I don't know how that came into your possession. Have you seen your lab reports,
Pierce?
Well, it's here. It was leaked, yeah. It was leaked.
Have you seen yours? Do you know what your chromosomes are?
I know that I'm a man, yes. I am a male. And by the way, if I took you on at pickleball with enough training, I would win. You know why? That's why we separate the sexes. And I'm sure you're great at pickleball, but I also know that, for example, when the American women's football team, soccer, as you so shamefully call it, but when the women's soccer team with Megan Rapinoe, that towering force of equality, when she was leading that team, they were the best women's soccer team in history. And they played, I think it was the Dallas under-15 men's team, and they lost about 7-1, right? Which just kind of suggested to me that my theory that the reason we separate the sexes is because males have a biological advantage is actually why the transgender debate in women's sport is also obviously wrong. Let me bring in you here, Sarah, because you are a semi-pro pickleball player. Pickleball, I know, is a very fast-growing sport, and I have great respect for all pickleball players. But the bottom line with all sports of this nature is that if somebody like LeBron James decided to take up pickleball and really worked hard at it for a year, he would hammer you into oblivion, and there'd be nothing you could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought all this stuff up. And the first thing that I do want to mention, it was mentioned that it was obvious that Imane Khelif was a male.
Yes.
And I think that is part of the most harmful part of this, is that we are categorizing what is femininity. And then we're putting it out there like propaganda.
No, male biology. We're categorizing what is male biology.
If somebody doesn't look feminine enough.
No. It's not about femininity. It's about identifying male biology when we see it with our own eyes.
Identify things with lab reports all you want. But if we are putting out this propaganda that you have to look a specific way, and if it's...
Well, that's how you see people like these two here have no truth in them, because that is not the argument. We already know that there are women, biological women, who are strong built. Look at this one, for example. Look at her shoulders, but we can still tell it's a woman. We are not talking about femininity or anything. This is not about, oh, what makes you a woman is presenting in a dress or makeup. That is not the point. There are women who work on farms. They have built different. There are tall women. There are short women. There are strong women. There are women who do fitness like crazy, and they just have a very strong body. Yet you can still differentiate from a man, especially when we're talking about biology. Like, people like this, I am so sorry. I cannot. All I think when I hear them speak is vomit.